So this is video number one. Well, you know, it could be a lot more depending on the views that I get for this or whatnot, but figured I'd seen everybody else on the internet talking about wrestling and everything like that, and I'm a super duper wrestling fan, so I figured I'd throw my 2 cents in everywhere I got my chance now. So we're going to talk about the Battleground pay-per-view last night, and I can honestly say I was actually very impressed with what went down last night. Granted, didn't really do much to affect the brand extension that happened. I believe they should have waited till after Battleground to do the brand extension, along with also naming Brock Lesnar's opponent for SummerSlam. They should have waited for that. But let's get down to the card. Match number one is on the pre-show, and we've seen the Usos battle Breeze Dongo, and I can honestly say I was surprised to see Breeze Dongo continue their winning ways and defeat the Usos, because you would have asked me before the match started, I clearly would have said the Usos would have won that. So good win for Breeze Dongo. They didn't cheat. They didn't have to resort to weapons or, you know, outside interference or anything. They got a clean 100% straight up victory over two-time tag team champions in the Usos. So very pleased to see where the future holds for Breeze Dongo. Stepping into the card, the first matchup was the mystery partner tag team. I guess we just call them female superstars now because they're no longer considered divas. But so Bayley was the mystery partner for Sasha Banks. Not like that wasn't seen coming. They tried to hint at others, Lita, Nikki Bella. They tried to just hint at them to try to get your mind off of Bayley, so that when Bayley came out, it was supposed to be a surprise. But I think everybody knew that it was going to be Bayley to begin with, so there was no real surprise there. Nice to see Sasha get the tap-out victory over Charlotte, being as they're probably going to have them face one-on-one going into SummerSlam, continue that feud. Dana Brooks, to me, just seems out of place, man. I think she only got thrown into that because Emma got hurt. But that's neither here nor there. Moving on, don't hate me if I forget part of the card, because if I forgot something, it obviously wasn't worth it. Next up was the U.S. title match, Rusev and Zack Ryder. Not the biggest Zack Ryder fan, but for once I was actually pulling for him to get the victory. Can't say I wasn't surprised. I was totally seeing Ryder losing the match. He loses every match. I mean, come on, it's Zack Ryder. He's the ultimate jobber next to Heath Slater. But I, however, would have liked to seen the U.S. title go to SmackDown. And then later on in the night, when it was Miz and Darren Young, I really wanted Darren Young to become the Intercontinental Champion. I think the Make Darren Young Great is an excellent gimmick for him. I always thought he got lost in the shuffle when it came to not being with Titus O'Neil and the Primetime Players. But back to Rusev and Ryder. I thought Ryder was going to pull it out there a couple times. I was really thinking, you know, maybe he might actually irk out a win here, but Rusev is just, they're making sure he stays dominant over that mid-card roster when it comes to guys like Cesaro and Del Rio and Zayn and Owens and the guys that are just Kalisto, that are just stuck on that mid-card level. So no surprise there that Rusev came out on top. Let's see, we'll just jump right on ahead to the Intercontinental title match. You know, I can't really say that I like the ending to that match. I thought there should have been a clear winner. Regardless, all the outside interference botched the whole ending, the Bob Backlund, and the just, I mean, Backlund's cool. Like, don't get me wrong, I've been a fan of Backlund since I was in diapers, but that's not the point. He's not, the gimmick's not worth it for Backlund. He's good at being the mentor. Just the rest of it just doesn't seem to fit for me. I don't know. I guess I just have to let it wear on me, I guess. The Miz and Maurice, I mean, they're the power couple now. The entrance, I like the entrance, the Eyes Wide Shut entrance. Granted, it took JBL to comment on what it was because Michael Cole had no freaking idea. Neither did Byron Saxton. That's another guy. Get rid of Byron Saxton. God, I can't stand that guy. Put Todd Phillips in it. Put Todd Phillips on the goddamn mic. I mean, for real. I'm so sick of Byron Saxton. I thought he was an alright wrestler. I thought, you know, you could have teamed him with Titus O'Neil and the Primetime Players probably would have been better. I'm just saying. But, so moving on from that, we have the six-man, one of the two six-man tags. The Wyatts and New Day, we'll start with that one. Not big on how that one turned out. I like the storyline with Xavier Woods. I think is excellent. It's better than that whole Final Deletion thing. Granted, it was written by WWE and the Final Deletion was written by Matt and Jeff Hardy. So, in a way, you got to give a lot of credit to Matt and Jeff for the Final Deletion on that aspect. But for being a WWE produced storyline, I think it's one of the best storylines they've had all year, next to, say, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which I'll get to that in a minute. But the New Day, Wyatt family, I like how they have the New Day lose when the titles aren't on the line, but boy, they sure know how to hold on to them when they are on the line. But, you know, the whole long title reigns, the tag team division is so deep, you shouldn't have to have long reigning title runs in a tag team division when there are so many tag teams out there. Moving on to Owens and Sami Zayn, who stole the show. Like Cesaro pointed out in the pre-show that they were going to steal the show, and they sure did. That was the best match of the night. You cannot argue. That was an indie fan darling's dream match. Watching those two go at it inside a WWE ring, like they were at Ring of Honor, it was just an awesome match. Great storytelling. They just tore the house down. The back and forth, you don't know who's gonna win, and man, the way they know each other so well. And I think reminds me of a Steamboat Flair without the 60 minutes. And that's saying a lot, because Steamboat and Flair, that's one of the greatest combinations of wrestlers of a wrestling match you could freaking ask for. You don't get no better than Steamboat and Flair. And I'm going to be honest with it, you can't argue with me on that. I don't care who you are. Unless you're Ric Flair telling me something different. Other than that, they are the best combination. I think it was a great move to keep them both on Raw, because it's like the Tommy Dreamer Raven storyline from ECW. You could just throw as many different people as you want in the mix, and they're still going to have their storyline on top of it, and it's just going to help build all these other gimmicks and characters that normally wouldn't have a shot. Like Cesaro, he don't get pushed for nothing, but yet here he is now making a big assumption on the Sami Zayn Owens about how he wished they were done because he's tired of them interfering in his matches, which is perfect to get Cesaro some in-ring time to beat the crap out of both Owens and Zayn. Make him a tweener. Make him not care whose side he's on and just beat them both up. Push Cesaro that way. You know what I mean? It's better than nothing. Moving on, the other six-man tag, the Club versus Cena and Enzo and Kaz, but, you know, fan of the Club, too sweet me. Not a fan. Yeah, okay, I'm kind of just over it. The kids love Cena, so you got to give him that. He's put in so long. He's been there forever. He the Big Show, Kane, and the Dudley Boys. Well, okay, Goldust. We'll count Goldust. He might have been around then too. Are the only guys that were around during the original draft. And here they are, 2016. Need to mind you, the very first draft was in 2002. And I think Cena was the only one not in the... Cena and Orton debuted a couple months after the draft. But other than that, they were pretty much, they'd been there the whole time. So, you got one of the oldest guys, basically with 5.5 fresh faces. I'm going to say 5.5 because I don't count Luke Gallows as a fresh face. No matter how many times you repackage the guy, he's still been there 3-4 times beforehand. So he's being a newcomer is kind of out the window for him. Not saying I didn't see Cena and them winning, but I kind of would have liked to have seen Enzo or Cass get the pinfall over Cena pinning Styles. But I guess that leads to the rubber match at SummerSlam. Beating up John Cena, beating up AJ Styles. It's redundant, dude. I'm over that whole situation of everything. The highlight reel, Randy Orton, RKO, Jericho. Woohoo! Nothing at all. Didn't really... They should have had Orton wrestle. Could have had Orton wrestle Cesaro. Cesaro wanted to work. Could have had that match. Random... You want to throw random nothingness at people? Throw that in there. What am I missing? Oh, Natalya and Becky Lynch. I like how the referee didn't keep track of the fact that the ring announcer said that it was a submissions match, but yet counted a pinfall or two in the middle of that. Still glad to see Natalya get the win. She's earned it, dude. She's been around longer than anybody can remember. Yeah, Natalya's earned it, man. She's been around the block so many times, putting up with stupid gimmicks, being the Great Khali's girlfriend, and just the whole thing with Hornswoggle. Oh, God, that was just horrible. So it's good to see Natalya finally into her own, getting a nice, clean victory over Becky Lynch, who probably should have won that match, but we won't get into that either. Then we're going to move on to the final match of the card, the Shield Triple Threat, which you would have checked with me 4 years ago. I wouldn't have believed that these three guys would have been the top guys in the company going for the major title at a pay-per-view. But used to see memes about that, man, back in the day. Everyone was like, can't wait to see these guys fight for the title at a triple threat match, blah, blah, blah. Well, it happened, and it was epically awesome. And besides Owen and Zayn, they had a damn good match. The whole beating up Roman Reigns was... The fans were just... They did not want Roman Reigns in that match. They wanted Rollins Ambrose 3, and I believe they should have got it. Well, it would have been 4 considering their last year's Money in the Bank, but that's not the point either. Just awesome match. Dean Ambrose with the clean victory. Really puts him over as a legitimate champion. You can't really ask for more than that. I'm already... What is it? I'm already a half hour into Raw. I just got back. As you see, I did this whole video on my car, so I just got back from work. I'm going to be on YouTube checking to see, because I don't have cable, so I'm going to be on YouTube checking WWE to see the highlights of Raw, and I will be back with my next video that I'm already going to spoil what it's going to be about, but I'm going to talk about the entire draft. I'm going to have the rosters, full rosters in front of me, and I will be breaking down why or why not they should be on the current show that they are on, and how they could be utilized. Big shout outs to Brian Zane at Wrestling with Regret, and Adam Pacini at What Culture, and Jack the Jobber over at Welt Culture, because if it wasn't for you guys and me watching you guys for the last 2 years, I wouldn't be making a video like this right now expressing my feelings about pro wrestling. So thank you guys, keep up the great work, and I hope to one day be on the same par level as y'all. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you want to talk about. I'll talk about anything pro wrestling. It don't matter. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent. Hate it, love it. It don't matter to me. I'll talk about it all because I got an opinion about everything. So, my name is Zoo. That was my 2 cents. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.